Hello everybody, I'm Steve and welcome to Green Side Up. Gonna have a little bit of a tour this morning and then I'm going to admit something to you a bit later on, so we'll crack on with that. So walking in through the front gate, this is a dumping ground and it's exactly how it looks. Got my multi-sown leeks here and the celeriac on the end, all growing away quite happily. I'm not sure if those celeriac we'll get some roots off them this year, but they're looking relatively healthy. I can see there's a bit of work I need to do here. All those leaves that like here where they're on the ground, they need pulling off, and it's the scarring of the plant by pulling them off that increases the root size, so I need to get cracking on that. Just up behind it I've got my French beans here. These are getting away nicely, and these peas on the next bit are the Carlin peas that were sent to me. So they're all going up nice. Got some multi-sown red onions in here. These are doing nice. These will be the ones that I use first, all the multi-sown. I've started to take a couple out, and then some multi-sown white onions there. In the next bed up, I've had some of the harvest out of there. This is beetroot, and this primarily will be used, all of this bed will be used to make soup, pretty much, and go in the freezer for winter. Next bed up, I've got some red onions in here. Now these are an American variety, never tried them before. We're quite delighted. They're Red Brunswick, and they're further along with the Bedfordshire Champions, and they're a tremendous size, really good. Probably the best I've ever grown from seed. We're very pleased with them. Moving over, I've got carrots in here. These need thinning out, and then the lids need put on there. And the same with this one. So that's something to be done in the next couple of days. And these are butter beans in the end here. These were sent to me by John, another subscriber. And they're racing away. I now need to make a much taller structure for those, so we'll get cracking on those again when I sort the carrots out. Moving over to the other side, I've got my lettuce over here. It's doing well. I'm cropping from that. Spring onions at the end and some overgrown radish. And these are my squash plants. These were in a recent video where I'm training them round, and I think this little sprout was only to here a couple of days ago on that video. It's now moved on 6-8 inches. I've got Swedes and a few turnip left in this one, and a few cabbage. I've harvested a few. These are my Brussels sprouts and chard in the end, and all this lot of the heritage variety of long red Florence onion in this bed. And this one, you can see this is doing marvellously well. This is my sweet corn. That's doing incredible. So there we go. Well, you know, and over here is the potato forest. So although things have been going well, some things haven't, and that's the admission part I mentioned earlier in this video. We'll go through this tunnel. Peppers are looking incredibly good, actually. This one here in front of the door, this would be the one I thought that was going to suffer the most, and it appears to be the one that's doing the best. And say cucumbers growing up that cane again, doing very well, and all the tomato forest behind that. I'll broach that subject on another day, but I've got dry set in here. Some of these flowers are just never going to turn to fruit. We'll talk about that another day. Over the other side, more peppers in there. I've got a lot of fruit on now and very happy with that. Courgette in the middle, a few more peppers, some annual plants to plant out, and then my winter carrots in these beds. There's a whole host of other things. These are kales in these trays here, and more kales in here. Broccoli plants, they're going out very soon. There's a little bit of a harvest. I picked all this yesterday and just didn't take it home, so there's a few cabbages and turnips in there, and here's all my elephant garlic harvest and my normal garlic at the back. But what I really wanted to talk about today is just out here in the back. This is, or should be, my flower area, and for one reason or another it's not brilliant, to be honest, and it's not what I normally produce. And although I'm not very happy, we will still get flowers. It started with that frost that we had, those surprise frosts that we had in the UK, and they were prolonged, and basically they knocked off all my sweet peas, so much so that I had to sow again, and these are growing away now. So they're getting on for 2 foot tall. We will get flowers, it's just that they'll be late. They should be all the way to the top of this frame by now and flowering the heads off. And normally what happens is they flower all the way up the stem as the season progresses, and then if you've tied in the side shoots, then they start to flower as well, so you get that second flush. I'm only going to get the one flush this year, I reckon. And if I get any flowers, I'll be happy, because it didn't look like I was going to get any. So they all got frosted. I lost a lot of flowers in that frost because just was not expecting that to happen. Lesson learned, Mother Nature likes to throw curveballs. So I've got dahlias in here, a lot of them. They're not looking too clever. I mean, look at the state of this plant. I think it will come back and I will get some flowers off them, but it's going to be into sort of August and September. And there are other flowers planted down here, snapdragons and things, and quite frankly they look toast. So it's a lesson learned. Mother Nature threw me a curveball and I didn't catch it. One of those things. So I'm a little bit disappointed. I've still got all the honesty here. These seed heads will be coming off. They'll be dry flowers for the winter. And I've got tons and tons still, even in July, of Sweet Williams in flower. Normally these sort of finish the end of May into June, really. But it is what it is. Now, part of the reason why this flower crop is so appalling is because I was putting a tunnel up here, this part, regardless of whatever happened. And then this tunnel came along and I put it up. Well, I needed to keep this bed clear of plants, because this where I was going to unroll the plastic and fold it up to make putting the plastic on the tunnel an easier job. Consequently, because of that, the ground stayed clear for too long. These plants should have gone in a month, 6 weeks before, and been getting on with growing before the flowering. Whether that would have produced a different result, I'm not sure, but that's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. So I failed on the flowers. I am getting flowers from the front of the plot and from the garden at home, and later in the season I will get flowers here. You can see some of these are in flower now and the rest will start producing soon. Sweet peas will follow. But what I have gained, of course, is a tunnel. So I'm moderately happy with that. It's just a disaster. But it has made me realise that there is a chink in my armour, so to speak, and there was a problem that I could have avoided if I'd have paid more attention. And as a result of that, I now have a plan in place for this coming winter into spring next year of how I'm going to do things next year to protect myself and to spread the load. So there'll be more details of that coming up as time moves on. But for now, I've failed, but I've done my best to rectify the situation. And I've got a new tunnel up, so not all bad at the end of the day. Just disappointing. So there we go. It's not the end of the world. I'm still getting crops out, which are the primary objective of the allotment, and I will still get flowers towards the end of the season. The fact that I haven't got so many right now is a little bit annoying, and it's getting on my nerves a little bit, but I'm not going to let it grind me down, because it's made me realise that you can't play with Mother Nature and you can't beat her. If she wants to do something, she's going to do it. So I've just got to adapt and change my methods to ensure that this doesn't happen again. And I say I've worked out a plan, and I think it's fairly robust to how I can move things forward next year. You'll see more of this as time goes on, you know, into next spring. But it's to do with that other tunnel, obviously, and getting plans going in next year. So yeah, a little bit of a downer, a little bit of an admission, but I'm not going to let it grind me down. I'm just going to carry on. I'm getting fabulous crops out of the ground. I've got fabulous crops to come, as you've just seen, which is why I've shown you that. You know, it's all there. We're not going to starve. We're just a little bit short on the flowers right now, and be nothing more that I would love right now than a lovely vase of sweet peas, you know, and I'm envious of those people who have got great big racks of them. But next year, you see the sweet peas I have next year, because I've got a cracking plan for them. But anyway, that's it for this one. Next one will be much happier, and yeah, we'll crack on with it. Look after yourselves, everyone. Please stay safe. See you very, very soon. Ta-ra now.